Hello, ladies and
Hello,
gentlemen,
ladies
and
and
welcome
gentlemen.
back to the Eagle Eye podcast. It is episode 64, I believe. Is that right, gentlemen? I can't, my goodness, this is terrible. I didn't put the number down. I usually write it down. But you know what? If it's 64, 64. If it's not, then I apologize. But as always, we're excited to be back here. We have plenty and plenty to talk about. We have America Tigres to discuss and break down. We have America Cholos to discuss and break down because America is in the Copa MX final. And then, of course, we have the upcoming match against Tijuana, and we got plenty and plenty to talk about as well in regards to those matters. But before I go in any further, let me introduce, as always, my co host, Mr. Christian Rosendo, and everyone's favorite cowboy, Dylan Jimenez, aka Cowboy Dan. Gentlemen, how are we?
Doing pretty good. Very happy over the weekend because we got the 2 wins, and it should be a good show.
Awesome, awesome. Dylan, how's it going down there in mighty Texas?
What do you want, the truth or do you want to lie?
How about you give us two truths and one lie?
Two truths and one lie. Okay, I'm doing fabulous. Everything is going smoothly, and I'm slowly dying, and nothing's running good.
Yeah, okay, okay. Uh, we'll let the listeners decide which one was the two truths and which one was the lie.
I think I messed up whenever I told you, but we
I
can
know,
let them decide.
I, I know you did. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we got the whole band here ready to go. Gentlemen, we have so much to talk about. We have so much to break down. We have a performance against Tigres that we predicted, that I predicted correct, by the way. I said 3-0.
About time.
None of you guys predicted that result. You guys went very conservative. And then of course, we have that Cholo semifinal at the Seca to talk about as well. So many things to talk about. Obviously, the Edson Alvarez incident with Nael Guzman. The performances he's been putting out, the great performance that Benedetti's been putting in as well. So we got plenty and plenty and plenty to talk about. So, gentlemen, should we jump straight into this?
Yes,
I
I
mean,
am
we didn't
ready.
do or
All right.
don't.
That is true.
That is true. That is true. Alrighty. Well, let's get to it and let's get started. America faced and hosted Tigres last week in what was probably the game of the week in regards to Liga MX action. Two teams coming at it, two teams that were in very good form, second against fourth. And funny enough, the game ended and the table didn't move in regards to that sense. Tigres was still second and America was still fourth, but
Right.
we inch just that much closer to the top three spots. So we'll talk about table positions and everything a little bit further into the show. But
Mm-hmm.
the way things are going, the way things are looking, we said it was crunch time for America, especially after the Clásicos, and it looks like they're starting to get the hang of it. And I mean, a good performance against Tigres, 3-0. Give me you guys' and your final thoughts on everything after the final whistle blows.
Well, for me, I think I thought it was very surprising. I don't know if that makes me a bad person or a bad fan, but I honestly was not expecting that game to go like the way it did. I honestly thought Tigres was gonna put up more of a fight, even though they didn't have their star player in Gignac. Um, but to be honest, America really just outplayed them. For the most part, they did. I could say though that there were stuff they were lacking, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Tigres should have capitalized on a few moments in the match, but overall though, very impressed with this performance, and this should be great going forward.
Dylan, what was your thoughts after the 3-0 victory?
Well, I think I said the last, like 2 weeks ago, especially whenever we got done playing Chivas, it was a turning point in the season for America, and they got to just keep on turning. It's a good step in the right direction, but you just got to keep turning. Yeah, I mean, really, you either fall back or keep turning at this point. And I think the team played well together. It gelled, and so it's just a matter of keeping that going and keeping that momentum going.
Alrighty, alright. Well, let's break this game down to the bone. Does anyone have the starting 11 out with in front of you guys?
Yeah, I have it.
Alrighty, Christian, why don't you remind the people what the starting 11 was, and what then we'll go and break down exactly how this tactical masterpiece of Piojo went down so well.
Of course. In goal we had Marchesin. left back Jorge Sanchez, center back Per Aguilera, Bruno Valdez, right back Paulo Aguilar. Your two CDMs were Guido Rodriguez, Etan Alvarez. Your three midfielders were Renato Ibarra on the right, Andres Ibargüen on the left, Mateo Siriba as cam, and your lone striker was Nico Castillo.
Okay. Now, was that a? I don't think any of us predicted that lineup, or did we?
I did, yeah. We did the same
Oh,
one
that one.
against Chivas. Same one against
Yeah,
Chivas.
Alrighty. Well,
I think I was one player off.
either way, still, it was a good lineup. I think we could all been content with that. I mean, it's the same lineup that got the job done down in Guadalajara against Chivas in the Super Clásico, and then you'd imagine that he'd want to get things going and get a starting 11, a set starting 11. I think that's important going forward, especially in these kind of games where you really really need the best performance
And
possible.
I think he found it. No, I think honestly that left wing position was the one thing that we were missing. Because we didn't have it, and then you saw Herrera trying to mix up formations, put players where they don't really shine the best. But now that you kind of have Ibargüen, you kind of solidified there in that left wing. I think Piojo has found his ideal 11 for this season. Took him a little bit, but I think it's there.
And I don't think that's his fault
No,
entirely. I
no,
think
definitely not.
with the injuries and
Injuries,
everything that was
yes,
that was that was
definitely.
plaguing us at the beginning of the
The
season.
transfers coming in late, the signings I meant.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then the people that left,
The people
especially
that
in
left,
that left wing
exactly.
position spot was,
So
we were heavily needing a winger, but unfortunately we weren't able to get it, and because of that, you saw Clemente trying to substitute, and then you had to wait for Eduardo Win to come back, and not just come back, but actually get back into the rhythm of things,
right.
and he's a good form, and that's exactly what we need.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
So let's break it down. Let's talk down. Let's talk first half. Dylan, what do you think worked so well for America in the opening 45 minutes that you think really set the game apart?
What really set the game apart was the early goal. I mean, they came out. I thought they were looking pretty good. At the time too. I still question. Are we gonna keep this up, or are we gonna kind of like let kind of Tigres get in the rhythm and kind of sort of I guess you could say like I felt like Tigres was slowly trying to get back into it, and America was just kind of like not where how they were in the opening minutes of the game. Um, Really, that's just how I saw it, because at that time, at the end of the first half, too, Tigres had a little bit more of the possession too.
Okay,
Mhm.
Christian, what do you think really set things apart besides that early goal?
Oh well, I was gonna say the early goal as well, but I think what me and you Ivan always liked when America did when they got the early goal was keep the pressure going, and they were doing that for I would say about 10 minutes after the goal. After that, though, you kind of saw them, take a little bit step back, and Tigres really started pushing them a lot. And that's this is one of the moments where I thought Tigres should have capitalized on because we were looking a little bit weak on defense, and the midfield was a little bit in their favor. But once again, though, our defense and our center defensive mids did a great job in containing their two midfielders in Carioca and Pizarro, and also limiting their outside threats. I think that was very key throughout the whole match. But that is something that we did well in the first half.
Now let me see. Let me take you guys back on a trip back to last season, about 6 months ago, when we go and play Tigres at their home stadium. Do you
Mm-hmm.
guys see resemblance of that game in this game? Because I
Mm,
can
No,
make out
not
a little
really.
bit things here because we get an early goal as well.
yes, we do.
Hmm.
We started pressing them, and after we get that early goal, I think that the difference here between this home game and last season's away game is that as soon as we got that away goal at the Volcan, we stopped doing the pressing, and then in
Mhm.
this game we press a little bit longer, which
But we
maybe gives us a
still
bit more control of the game.
right.
But I will say the difference, I think, in that game too is that there is a Gignac in the Volcan and there
Hmm.
isn't a Gignac in this game. But I do want to see if we can maybe correlate that because I think in both games you see two players kind of stand out and really bring America um, to the top, and it's our center back pairing. It's Bruno
Yes.
Valdez and Emmanuel Aguilera, and I'm not talking defensively. I'm talking offensively.
Offensively,
Both
yeah.
Bruno
Hmm.
and Aguilera got a goal in the away game last season in the Apertura, and funny enough, they get they get themselves a goal this
Yeah.
game as well. And I bring that up is because I don't know, what's your guys take on the center back partnership, especially in the first 45 minutes?
Mm, I know a lot of people don't really like it, but I know a lot of people want Ensign in the midfield, and so I think it kind of at this point, you roll with it. I mean, I think it's pretty good. I mean, it's not rock solid. I mean, there's times whenever it's really flawed, and we've seen that. But it works out. It's been getting the job done most of the time. But I think this is something we have to live with because you can't really do much because I mean, like I said, people want Edson in the midfield. They don't want him back at center back really. But I don't know. That's kind of how I see it.
For
Okay,
me, I
go ahead,
thought
Christian.
Aguilera was most likely either the best or one of the best players that game. I really think he did a great job limiting their offensive threats. And you mentioned the goal, Ivan, from both center back pairings. You're starting to see what we saw late last season as well. It was
Yeah.
Aguilera and Bruno Valdez taking over the goal sheet, the goal scoring column on the sheet, and they kind of not carried us, but they really gave us a big boost going forward in terms of getting goals when they matter the most. And surely enough, the opening goal, was key because that's how you, I guess, in one of the ways you really slow down Tigres and slow down everything that was they were gonna do in their plan going forward. You get that early goal, Bruno Valdez gets the early goal, and now Tigres, okay, well listen, this plan that we had, we gotta throw it out now because now we gotta find something else because now we're down a goal, and we gotta push forward our lines and see what we can do. So I really do think that Bruno Valdez and Aguilera is the perfect pairing for right now. They seem to be understanding each other well. That chemistry you guys always talk about between the center backs, it needs to be there, and it is there. Clearly shows in this game and in the Xolos game yesterday. So yeah, for
And
what?
and I like how you
Wait,
bring up the
wait, wait.
Cholos game because it's interesting. Dylan, sorry for cutting you off,
No,
but
no, no.
I just want to make that point. Um, you saw yesterday Aguilera with Vargas. Oh my goodness, was that terrible?
It was
Completely
bad,
terrible.
and we can talk about it later. But this injury, I really hope it's not.
And it looks like it was just for an excessive amount of playing time. So I think he's just wanted to rest him. That's it. I think
Right,
he was just it was precaution.
and
So same as for the Aguilera injury. I think
mhm.
that one was also precaution.
I think we need to talk about that a little bit later in the podcast because this is getting to that season, that crucial point where yeah, a little nick here and there, but you miss a game, and it's a crucial players missing games that can ultimately lead to us dropping a few points here and there. But we'll touch on that later.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, but yeah, back to the whole center back partnership thing. I think it's what we have, and it's funny enough because we complained about this already when we were champions. Now we're complaining about it again when we're looking for the bicampeonato and
Hmm.
about to play a Copa MX final. Is that we don't feel secure enough in our defense, and but yet you look at at some of our stats for this defense. I mean, someone said in the chat, I think it was Chicken Nugget. He said 5 games, 0 goal received. I mean, what does that say to you? In regards to this center back partnership, is that it's
Hmm.
working?
It's working.
Yet I think it was because we look at them week in and week out. Maybe people that kind of don't really pay too much attention to the America, on a regular basis, are probably thinking, "Wow, Bruno and Emma, they're probably the best center back partnership, you know, in the whole league." But reality is that there's moments in the games where, to be honest, we don't concede because of luck. and
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
and and because of Marchesín or whatever you want. But I think it's the best that we got. I personally want to see Edson in that center back spot, but he's killing it in the midfield, so I wouldn't move him for anything.
No,
I think
no.
it's just at the moment, just keep going, keep the rhythm, and keep that partnership going. And then of course we'll talk a little
Yes.
bit later on when we preview the Cholos game exactly what's going on injury wise with some of these players, because of course a lot of people are questioning whether or not Uribe Peralta is going to be ready as well. So a lot of things to keep in mind in
Hmm.
regards to this upcoming game. But
Yes.
let's just go back to the Tigres game and let's talk the first goal, because I think it's a very funny goal. It's a very jammy goal as well. It's a goal that really showcases that you're putting everything on the line, and and I don't know what did you guys take on it. I mean, I saw the replays and everything, and I saw how it went in. Just very Sunday league.
Yes, very Sunday league. I just want to point out one thing. Correct me, anybody who saw the first goal. I'm pretty sure it was Renato Ibarra who crossed it initially to Nico Castillo. Nico Castillo headed it back into the box, and then Bruno Valdez ultimately tapped it in. Is that correct?
I thought Bruno
Uh,
hit it.
yeah, but I think Bruno heads it. No, I think it's Castillo who heads it back in. Bruno heads it, hits the post,
Here's the post.
and then he comes back
He,
and finds the rebound because I
right,
think it was either him or Henry that was going to hit it, correct?
right, correct. No, but I meant in terms of Renato crossing it in first.
I think it was either Renato or Ibargüen. It's one of those two.
Okay, well, if it was
Yeah.
Renato, finally he puts a good cross in. I've been the biggest critic of his crossing, and I don't think I'm the only one. I'm probably the only one in this podcast, but I've been the biggest critic of his crossing, and finally he puts in a great cross. And see what a great cross can do to a lethal striker like Nico Castillo, who has the killer instinct to put it back into the 6 yard box where he knows there's teammates waiting for him. And then that's the ultimate end product. You get a little bit of a jammy goal, yes, a little bit Sunday leagueish, but you're up 1-0 against Tigres in the 5th minute, so it works.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Although I don't know, I think we had this discussion on last time. Stats regarding, I think his crossing is very average in regards to a winger, but we're not gonna get into that. I think it was a very good cross as well.
Mhm.
And like you guys mentioned, I think the first half kind of went in America's favor, exactly what needed to go. And then of course,
Mhm.
the game ends the first half wise, and going into this, you're up 1-0. What are you thinking in regards to this? Okay, you have a lead against Tigres. It was early, but you still haven't been able to score another goal. What's crossing your guys' mind? What do you think America needs to do in order to progress and get these 3 points?
Take back the midfield.
Yeah.
I think towards the end of the first half, you kind of saw Tigres control the game a little bit, and if America really wanted to, kind of seal the deal, they needed the game back in their favor, starting with the midfield. But as we see at the start of the second half, and for I guess I want to say until probably the second goal that we scored, it was all Tigres, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely was. Whenever they came out, it was all Tigres to me too. Um, it's just that thing too that I still kind of question. When we come out of the second half, like I still kind of think it's the dreaded second half. Like what's gonna happen? Like how are we gonna come out and play? And nothing really surprises me at this point still, because we either gonna come out hitting a heavy attacking, or we're just gonna like sit back and let the other team play their game. And that's exactly how it happened to that second goal.
Okay, understandable, understandable. Now I'm curious to hear, second half thoughts, Christian, and I know you paid attention to the second half a little bit more in detail. Kind of just sum it up overall. Second half, was it exactly what you were expecting? Was there things that could have maybe been better, or do you think America hit all the notes?
No, it definitely could have been better. Like I said, for probably 1/3 of the whole second half until probably the 7th minute when we scored the second goal, it was all Tigres. This was another moment where I thought Tigres should have really capitalized because the game was all in their favor. They were really getting into America's half of the field, pressing us really hard, getting their lines more up, and America really didn't have a response for it. And this is where I don't want to say fatigue is coming into play, but you kind of wonder, Tigres is dominating you for about 20, 25 minutes. Where's your midfield in that sense? Where are they to kind of swing the game back in your favor, and they just weren't there. Thankfully Aguilera scores, and then I think that's when Tigres just dies out. What, that was the dagger. But yeah, that's where I thought America could have been better in trying to slow Tigres down. Like, okay, listen, guys, they're getting into our half a lot. Let us relax. Let's pass the ball around. Let's not give them the ball so much, because in the second half they had almost 70% of the possession and we only had 30. So kind of showed you that the game wasn't really going our way. Like I said, until the second goal, and then I guess that's when America just kind of took over.
Yeah. Okay. I agree. Dylan, you agree?
Yes, I do.
um. Well, let's talk those final two goals.
Sure.
Emmanuel Aguilera. I think that free kick is.
Ridiculous.
That's
I think it's. I want to say that it was very fortunate to go in.
It was definitely very fortunate.
I don't. But then again, I think hats off to him for for attempting it like that as well.
I mean, I'm guessing he realized no one was, on the floor and on the wall. So he was like, maybe why not?
I mean that you have to take some.
Completely fooled the whole team.
Yeah, you have to
We're-
you have to be 1,000% sure that wall is jumping.
Yeah,
Um,
and there was. I love it how the commentators were talking about it. Before Dick he was about to take the free kick, they were talking about how America had a free kick competition during practice, and Aguilera, sure enough, was the champion of that tournament. And then 5 seconds later, he scores the goal.
you
I
know,
just thought that was pretty funny.
he's been winning those competitions lately.
Yeah.
Um, he knows what he's doing. I mean, who would have thought Emmanuel Aguilera was the man for the was for the job? But I
Mhm.
mean, he scores. At the end of the day, it's a tremendous goal if you think
It
about it.
definitely is. Yeah, there's no like you said, hats off to him. I don't really want to say it was like the best goal ever, but like like you said, he had to have the skill to do it.
I think it was just hilarious because it's like really like he tried it and it worked. Like how
Mhm.
funny is that?
Sometimes you just
But
gotta
no,
try it.
yeah. I mean, I'm not complaining. It went in the back of the net, so
Mhm.
you know it. It was definitely a good showing from Aguilera to get a goal. Dylan, what is your takes on that free kick?
Ridiculous, man. It really was. I was just I was shook.
The people want to know on the chat if you could score that same free kick.
Oh, I could do it from the halfway line.
Oh, okay, okay. So we need to see that. Also, by the way, if you guys have not seen it yet, and unfortunately Paola Aguilar did not score, but we have a GIF, a video of our very own Cowboy Dan doing the Paola Aguilar chicken dance. So
Mhm.
whenever Paola Aguilar scores, we will be tweeting that out. But he already was
Mhm.
kind enough to tweet it out to the world, and it is on his Twitter page. So make sure you guys go and check that out. It is probably the best thing to ever happen on Twitter.
I didn't know I agreed to that, but okay.
It's very hilarious, but what's it called? I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit out of order, but at the 62 minute, America makes a substitution, and it was Nicolas Benedetti and Mateo Uribe out.
I think that
Um,
completely switches the face of America. No.
100%. That's what I was gonna get at that. And I'm crazy enough to say that I would much rather have Benedetti start over Mateo Uribe at this very moment. I honestly don't know what's going on with him last season per se. Not the clausura, the not the apertura. I meant the clausura of last year.
Mhm.
He was arguably like probably one of our best players. The apertura comes, he hit a bit of a downfall in his play. Whatever, we all thought it was the World Cup. Okay, you know what? Let it. We'll let the have this season. But now this season, though, I don't think he's gotten any better. And you have Nicolas Benedetti on the bench who comes in and just kind of like changes the whole way of going forward in the attack. He seems just very comfortable playing that cam position. And he just adds something to America. I really can't pin it yet, but like he just. I don't know. He's just a very special player, and from what I saw on Saturday and from what I saw yesterday, I think this man deserves to start over Uribe.
Yeah, I think that's the debate going on right now on Twitter, all over, not just Liga MX English Twitter, but Mexican Twitter as well. I think you see a lot of Americanistas, especially after the performance Benedetti had against Cholos last yesterday. I think it really showcases that this guy has hunger. This guy has the same hunger that we saw Mateo Uribe have last year that took him to the World Cup, and this Nicolas
Mhm.
Benedetti kid is really
Yeah.
something. So I think you're right. I mean, it not only changes the game in regards to the Tigres matchup, but I think it showcases exactly what this Benedetti kid has to
Mhm.
offer to America.
It's so much.
And don't be
Mhm.
surprised if he does start against Cholos on Saturday.
Yeah, I was gonna get at that, and then you just see him coming, and he has so much hunger. You see him in interviews. He's so humble. Yeah, he understands he's not getting many minutes, but he says, whenever I get minutes, I want to prove to Miguel Herrera and to the whole America fan base that I deserve to be here, and I will showcase whatever I have. And sure enough, he's doing just that.
Yeah, definitely. We'll talk about his performance against Cholos right now in a little bit, but yeah, let's talk about that third goal that he scores.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Um, Good breakaway. You know,
Yeah,
it was good 1-2 passing.
with
Um,
Henry Martin, yes.
with Henry Martin, who is
Whoop,
another player
whoop.
that we need to talk about, and because
Um,
he's been going good in especially in the Copa, uh,
I have a little
and
comments about that, but we'll talk about that a little bit later.
I personally thought he was the best player on the pitch on Tuesday, and I'll say why exactly. I don't think it's
Yeah.
because exactly what he did or he scored. It's just I kept an eye on what he was doing off the ball as well, which I think
Okay.
was really good.
Mm.
But yeah, go ahead, break down this Benedetti goal. I think it really puts the cherry on top of everything.
Course, like you said, started from the midfield. Benedetti brings it down, passes it off to Henry. Henry sees him running with full force, passes it right back, and he just slots it in. Very beautiful strike from Benedetti. You kind of see like he kind of has that little bit talent, that the skill to really know where to place the ball, and it was a pretty poem from La Poeta Benedetti's
On the
score,
Poeta. You know what?
and
He has the finesse trait, huh? He has the
yeah,
finesse
he
trait
he
off
really
FIFA.
does, and it's very pretty when he scores, but like you said, that was the nail in the coffin. 3-0 to us at the 89th minute, 88th minute, and obviously Tigres wouldn't come back from that. And I guess now it was just try to retain the clean sheet for Marche. And there you go, full time 3-0, and you know great dominant performance in the terms of the goals, but could have been a little bit better in trying to control the game.
Yeah, I think even when you have performances like this, there's still subtle things that we
Yeah.
can pick up. But overall, the grand scheme of things, I think
Overall,
it's something
yeah.
that we should be content,
Hmm.
happy about. Um, and I think it showcased, and I think that result kind of flowed over to the Copa MX game against
Hmm.
Xolos.
Definitely. Hmm.
All right, Dylan, anything else you want to add on into this before we kind of wrap it up?
No, I think we hit it all. I think we're good.
Nice, nice, nice. Christian, anything else?
No, I think we covered everything.
I
All
made a
right.
92 on my test today.
Really,
That's
I got an
that is not part of the Saturday game though.
Oh crap! No, that's not. I'm sorry.
I got a 94 on my stats class, on my stats
Woo!
midterm.
You get a
There we
cookie
go.
today.
There you go.
Why do you complain to Christian about bringing up grades? Why do you complain to me about bringing up grades, but you don't complain about Christian bringing up grades?
Because he got a higher grade than you.
You got a vendetta. Hey, the vendetta shift from Sanchez to me now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, talking about Sanchez, how did you guys see him against Tigres? Because I thought he was phenomenal against Cholos
Oh, he
yesterday.
was yeah, yeah. He put on a good match. Like I said, he really limited that right hand side, and you know it was very hard for Luis Quinones and Vargas to really do anything from that side. Another solid performance from the youngster, and I really hope to see more of him in the
All
national team.
right. Yeah, he's someone that definitely has a future. Kid's growing
Mhm.
and he's looking a lot better. So okay, so I think we can agree. Good game, good performance, and
Yes.
definitely exactly what we wanted to see from America, especially moving forward from this point on. Because of course, like we
Hmm.
said, it's crunch time. It does the games don't get any easier than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have
Oh.
Cholos, but it's at their own home. Regardless of what the result was against the Copa, that was a Copa. This is the league. It's completely
Hmm.
different. I mean, who do we have after Cholos? If I'm not mistaken, it's
Cruz Azul.
Cruz Azul, right?
Yes. I just wanted to point out one more thing. I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
You said at the beginning of the preview that America won, but it didn't matter in terms of standings because we were fourth. We were still fourth, and they were still second, right? But
Yeah.
honestly, it did because Necaxa had a win and Pachuca had a win. So if we would have drawn or tied, we would have been down in standings. So it was a huge win for us in terms of where we are in the table.
Yeah, no, and I'm glad you bring that up because it is definitely
Mhm.
something that we need to talk about in regards to this Cholo games coming up too, because we are a little bit depending on what some of the other the games are going to be looking like to see whether or not we can clinch, third or we can't clinch second, right?
We can still clinch second, yes, but it would require Monterrey and Tigres to drop points.
Which is it's highly unlikely for both of them to drop points in
I
one weekend.
mean, well, yeah, well, we're one away from Monterrey from being third,
Yeah,
and we're four away from Tigres. Honestly, being realistic, I don't think we can catch Leon right now because they're about 7 points away from us,
yeah,
and
they're running with it.
yeah, they're running with it. They're on track to break the record. Hats off to them, credit to them, but I just don't think we can really overtake first. But second is not a unrealistic thing to have by the end of the season.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And hey, by the way, we've always said go ahead, take that first position spot. It doesn't
Oh
matter
yeah,
to us.
take it. Yeah, supposedly it's a curse, but
Alrighty. Well, that does it for this preview. Let us know in the chat. What do you guys think? What do you guys you know, have in mind in regards to this game after Tigres, after the Cholos game? What do you guys see America? How do you guys see America? Is there something we that the team needs to change or maybe improve on, or do you guys like how things are going? For those of you listening on SoundCloud or iTunes, just hit us up with a tweet. Is everything going in the right direction, or should America do something to change things around? Because I think while we said it was a good performance, there is things here and there that I think could improve, and this America could be this great America side if only, if only they would get these things here and there right. But
Mm-hmm.
of course,
There's
there's
still
still a
time
little
to
bit of
improve.
time to improve.
100%. And I think that's what you kind of want, really, really go into the league top notch form. And, we're not there yet, even though we're playing amazing right now. We're not there yet. There's still a few quirks to work out here and there, but, give a little bit of time. Hopefully everything goes in our favor. And, we can see that for the Liga,
Definitely,
which where it
most
counts the
definitely.
most. No?
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
exactly that counts the most in regards to that sense. But I think that does it for the Tigres preview. I mean, excuse me, review. Um, yeah, 3-0. I just want to say it again. I got the result right, and it wasn't just me. Louis got it right. Also, who, by the way, predicted that result, and it was also his birthday. So, shout out to him for being able to celebrate with not only 3 points but 3 goals also.
There you go. Must have been a great
Interesting.
birthday.
One of the top 10, I would imagine. One of
100%.
the top 10. Alrighty, gentlemen, let's move on into our next segment. And it's going to be a very back to back segment because we have Cholos in both of these discussions. But before so, I just want to say it's trivia time, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen. It is
Mhm.
trivia time. So without further ado, let me take it over to Christian. Christian, let these
Mhm.
wonderful, beautiful people know exactly what they are answering today.
Of course. So guys, today's question will be: in the last time America played in a Copa MX final, who did they play and in what stadium?
Who did they play and in what stadium?
Yes.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, while you guys are answering that question, which is on the chat already, we would like to introduce our special guest today, coming straight out of Puebla and co host to the Cholos podcast, here to help us break everything down from Tuesday's matchup against Cholos to this Saturday's matchup. We want to introduce Mr. Francisco Velasco. Francisco, thank you for coming on the podcast.
How's it going, guys? Good to be on the podcast. Sorry for the horrible lighting. I'm just moving into a new place actually right now. Like I literally just like right before the podcast, I had to like push a desk up the stairs and stuff. So yeah, yeah,
No,
right.
no, no. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Well,
Mhm.
congratulations. Hopefully, the moving isn't going too rough. But we're happy to have you on the show. We're happy to have you on here. Talk a little bit of
Happy to be here.
Cholos.
Yeah.
So we'll get in that going right now. We're just finishing up trivia for our listeners, so hopefully they get things going. And yeah, gentlemen, anything else you want to say to Francisco?
No, man,
Hi,
just
Francisco.
yeah.
How's it going, Dylan?
I'm
Nah,
good.
just happy to have him here. It's the first time I'm meeting you.
Thank you. Good to meet you too, Christian.
Yes.
Also, by the way, if you guys don't know, Francisco is very active in the Liga MX English community, not only just doing Cholos, but I believe you're also doing some stuff for Puebla as well, correct?
Yes, yes. Also have a Club Puebla English page. Actually, like the website that we write for, or that I write for, Foot and Soccer, it even has its own like Club America like side tab on it as well. So yeah, active writer, active on Twitter and the Liga MX in English community.
So definitely doing the most for this community. So we thank you for everything that you've done at this point, Francisco. And now let's get into it. Let's talk yesterday's matchup in the Copa MX. America took on Cholos, and well, it was probably one of the best games for America in the Copa MX in recent years. Probably one of the worst ones for you guys in regards to Copa MX, or maybe just in general this season. I don't remember the time where you guys lost 4-0. But Francisco, I'm curious to hear your kind of thoughts in regards to the game. What was your kind of final thoughts after the final whistle blew?
No, definitely. I mean, I definitely think it was the worst game for Cholos this season. The midfield was torn apart, especially after Kevin Balanta, the midfielder for Cholos, got that red card. After that, I just thought it was game over. Really, Especially when you go up against a midfield consisting of Guido Rodriguez, a former Cholos player. It's just very tough for Cholos. That's been the ongoing problem for Cholos. I would say this season is the midfield, and it really showed in this game. I mean, Ignacio Rivero and Balanta, obviously, he got that red card. It was a big issue in this game.
Yeah. I think I heard a lot of people discussing that as well. That kind of red card kind of maybe kind of set the pace for the game afterwards for America to kind of just kind of steamroll over you guys. But I'm curious because we were talking about this when we were reviewing the Tigres game, and funny enough, it happened against Cholos as well. It was an early goal that kind of set the tone for America, and it looked like it was the same case here on Tuesday. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that goal because a lot of people were putting a lot of blame on Lahoud. A lot of people were also putting blame on whoever was on the wall. But gentlemen, I want to throw it to you first. How did you guys see that goal? I mean, it was a shot by Clemente, who, and I'm being straight honest. I thought to myself, okay, if Clemente for some reason scores this, I will go on Twitter and tweet Clemente is the GOAT. And by the way, you guys can go back and see that I actually tweeted that out. But what was you guys' take on that free kick goal?
I didn't think he was gonna make it in.
Yeah, me neither.
It was Clemente we were talking about, but no, I thought that it was a great shot. You kind of seen in previous games where he was playing and he was taking shots. He kind of did seem to strike the ball very well. I just didn't think he could do it from a free kick spot, but I guess Herrera gave him the confidence to go ahead and take it, and sure enough, he scores another goal for us.
Dylan?
I started to pinch myself. To be honest, I was like, "Am I dreaming?" But no, I'm other than that, I thought it was the way he hit it was great, and when it went in, I was just like, man, like, that's a goal. It was really good. He took it well. He was composed and everything, and so that's all I gotta say, really.
Okay. Now let's talk about. We'll talk a little bit about Clemente because I think that was probably the only good thing he did in the game. Kid doesn't trust his right foot for anything, and I think that's kind of what made him kind of lose sight of the match. But let's talk about that goal in regards to the Cholos perspective, Francisco. How did you see that game? Especially that goal.
No, that goal specifically. I think Lahoud could have definitely done a lot better on it. Lahoud's a weird goalkeeper. He'll have like amazing games. I think he had one against America a couple seasons ago. Yeah, the Azteca, I believe. And he'll have those type of games, and then he'll have these type of games where he allows 4 or 5 goals. It seems like every goal he could have done a bit better on. So, and this one specifically though, this one that kind of got things rolling for America, I really think Lahoud could have done quite better on it. To be honest,
do you have any? Would you put any blame on the guy who was on the wall, who just completely just moved out the way?
No, yeah, there's a lot of things going on in that goal. It's just a weird goal in general. I mean, when Clemente was the one that went to go take it, I was a bit surprised to begin with, and then when it went, I was joking around with my friend. We were watching the game. I was like, "Watch, he's gonna score right now," and then it went in the back of the net. So, yeah.
Dylan, this is a funny goal because I think maybe since you and I both play the position for goalkeeper, I think it's goalkeeper 101. Whenever you get a free kick, to always put at least two people on the wall when you think there could be a direct kick. No.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too when I saw that. I was like, is this right? So, but I mean that was like who's call or whoever's running the raw. So.
Now I won't lie. I mean, he could have made that call, but he could have at least been a little bit more centered. I thought his reaction was a little late too. But I mean, I'm not here to pick on Lahoud or anything. Of course, that's not kind of my expertise to talk or criticize about him. But it was an early goal that kind of set the pace for America, and I think it changed the tone of how things went. I think Cholo's approach kind of had to change after that because you see yourself be a goal down. Now you find yourself chasing the game in retrospect. How did you think Xolos was planting to start this game off, Francisco? Oh, looks like we got a bit of a connection issue.
What I tweeted was really
okay. It looks like Francisco, can you hear us? Oh,
Wow, Ivan, you broke it.
I swear I broke it. I don't think I broke it. I think you
Mm.
broke it, Dylan.
Yeah, well, I think Oscar Pareja from
You might want to message him that it's kind of choppy.
And, I think we're good now. I think we're good.
Oh,
Francisco,
we're
go
good.
ahead. Keep going.
Like I said, you might want to message.
No,
yeah from the beginning. I thought that Oscar Pareja. It seemed like he was prioritizing the Liga MX game that's coming up on Saturday,
okay. Yeah.
just because Ariel Nahuelpan, Gustavo Bo, and then Fabian Castillo, they were on the bench to begin the game.
Yeah, you guys definitely left your heavy hitters on the bench, which I think gave America a little bit more of a confident boost. It's funny because it happened against Chivas and it's happened against you guys as well, in which we've set a very strong starting 11. I think. What do you want to say, gentlemen? 80%, or if not more, is our starting 11 for the
90%
league,
of that.
Yeah.
90%.
and
Yeah.
I think it just shows you America is really looking for this title.
Hmm.
America is really pushing for this league, this Copa MX, excuse me. Um, I do think that Cholos did prioritize the game coming up on Saturday. Gentlemen, was this America's plan all along? Get that early goal, get the set the rhythm of the game.
I mean, I feel like you always want to go for an early goal. I mean, that's probably the key. Uh, the thing that happened to us, we got an opportunity and we took advantage of it. But honestly, after that goal was scored, we had, I think it was the same thing as Tigres. We scored the goal 5 minutes. Yeah, okay, we were in their faces a little bit. Then after that, we didn't do anything until the red card. And after that, obviously, I guess it was just all us. But you kind of had that moment where that 30-minute moment where it was all Tijuana in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Like I pointed out too. Like we can score early, but or we can start off fast and strong, taking the game to the opposition. But I always question how long can we keep that up, or after we score a goal, how long do we keep it up, or until we sit back, or let the team get in and get in their rhythm. And we've seen that again.
and let's be honest. If Cholos was a little bit more organized when in the final third, I think they could have capitalized on our mistakes because you saw Vargas. Vargas's positioning was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
The kid looks like he was all over the place trying to figure out what position he was playing. Aguilera didn't look like he was actually being much of a leader back there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, a lot of things were going bad in America's defense. It's just
Yes.
fortunate enough that Cholos wasn't able to capitalize on it. But let's be honest, they had some pretty good opportunities to make it 1-1. And even when they were down 2 goals and even down a man, they still were able to find opportunities here and there. Francisco, what was your take specifically on Cholos kind of not taking these opportunities?
Yeah, it's been a big issue actually for Tijuana the whole season, specifically before Nahuelpan and Bo were joined to the squad. That was a huge issue on the team. They just couldn't score in the first few games, and it seems like that'll happen from time to time with Xolos. Again, they'll have these finishing issues from time to time. They're not a team like America or Tigres where they'll get a few opportunities and they'll just capitalize on them. Cholos will miss quite a few. It seems like in these games.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that was very fortunate for us, like I mentioned. But you can't always count on these kind of fortunate, lucky kind of events. So I think America does kind of have an issue going forward. Who's going to play in that center backs partnership? Because even when you see Aguilera leave, I think maybe Edson secures that center back spot with Vargas a little bit better. But it's
Yes.
still, there's gaps. There's kind of
Mm-hmm.
things in between that you'd want to see a little bit different. But we'd have to wait and see whether or not both center backs are ready to go for next Wednesday.
Yeah.
But continuing on with the first half, you see that America gets that second goal, and it is my God, the
Benedetti.
game was there. You go, Benedetti.
Yeah.
Which I would put a lot of fault on Topo Valenzuela, to be honest. I think
Mm-hmm.
he could have just easily cleared that ball. Francisco, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you see that Topo maybe was a bit in fault for this game?
No, definitely. I mean that second goal was all Topo. I mean, he just basically gifted the ball to Nicolas Benedetti, and then Benedetti just he shot from the edge of the box and it went in. But yeah, you could really fault Topo on that specific goal just because he basically gifted the ball to Benedetti.
He did. He really did. But it's something that we were talking about. Benedetti taking these opportunities, taking these chances, not only to make himself look good, but to carry the team forward. And I think that's something that Piojo maybe is really looking at and really maybe thinking whether or not he could play better for Mateus Uribe, who, by the way, came into this game and really didn't change at all. I
No,
think maybe the team maybe benefited from having Benedetti, not Mateus Uribe on.
right.
Um, but uh, we'll have to wait and see whether or not he gets a starting spot on Saturday. I would hope so. I
I would
think
hope so
all
too.
the signs point to him starting.
Hmm.
That's just whether or not Piojo is ready to put him, and I think he's ready. I really think he's ready. You don't see the altitude kind of making him suffer or tire a lot easily. I think he's ready to come on and really change the game.
Hmm.
Dylan, your take on the second goal or anything really in regards to the second half? I mean, first half, excuse me.
Oh, the second. I'm about to say we already on the second half. Um, um, no, I mean, really, like I think how like we said it. We get that first goal, we kind of let Cholos get back into it. They have their missed chances. That red card comes, and all of a sudden it's us. Um, Benedetti just really capitalizes on that mistake, really, and it's a wonderful, it's a good goal. It's a wonderful goal. Um, like Christian said, just a poem right there, the poet just doing his thing. Really, that's it.
Do you guys see Benedetti maybe going to like a poetry? You know, what is those things where they go and they read poems and they snap their fingers?
Poetry slam.
There you go. There you go. Do you see Nicolas Benedetti like at 9 p.m. down in Mexico City going to those things?
Most
He
likely.
probably he's probably standing at the mic. He's like, "Ser or no ser."
uh,
Oh, probably. We'll have to get an exclusive Cowboy Dan Nicolas Benedetti poem. That
hmm
that that would be something to look out for. But back to what you were saying, Francisco. The midfield I think was key, and as soon as Cholo lost it, America gained control of the whole game. I think the floodgates opened at that point, and it was really America not taking advantage of some of the opportunities they had. I mean, you had a couple of good shots that just kind of didn't go on target. You had opportunities that kind of were halted because of poor passing or poor delivery. But it really felt that, Cholos was at one point just saying, you know what, I think we're just going to do damage control. I think we're not going to risk it. We're not going to take our chances and we're just going to do damage control, which I don't think kind of helped them out because at the end of the day, they ended up losing 4-0.
No, definitely. I mean, you see some of the substitutions that Oscar Pareja made. Yeah, he brought on the center back Julian Velasquez, which didn't really affect the game at all. I mean, it actually made it worse because at that point the game was 2-0, and yeah, they ended up losing 4-0. So it did seem like at one point Pareja just wanted to maintain the scoreline, just not avoid the goleada. But yeah, it didn't work. It just did not
It
work
just
out.
did not go. And Dylan, I'm curious because this is a coach you highly rated, of course, from his time being at FC Dallas. Did you think he kind of crumbled in the moment, or what do you think? I know this is a bit
Look,
weird because we usually talk about America, but this is a coach that you kind of decently well.
look. When Pareja started with FC Dallas, like I thought things were going good, but like towards the end of his era, like he did things that like started making me like question, and like why are you doing this? Why'd you make this substitution and stuff like that? And so. I kind of wondered the same thing whenever he left for Cholos. I was like, is he gonna start off like good and hot, or is he gonna stay the same like he did when he ended with FC Dallas? And so, I think in this game too, at times he kind of made me question why he would do some stuff like that. But then again, it didn't really surprise me.
Okay. Well, like Francisco said, he was just saving his best for Saturday, which is why I think it's going to be a completely different game
Yeah,
now, especially for Cholos being at home. That's going to be a big boost as well. And let's face it, that stadium's never been easy, not just for us, but for anyone who ever's visited. So, we'll get to that in a little bit, but let's just finish off this whole midfield conversation. Christian, something that you and Dylan and I have always said, something that we really need from America is midfield control. We got a little bit of it in Tigres, and we got a whole bunch of it against Cholos. And I think we see the outcome is that as long as we can control it, as long as we can have, good access to the midfield and how the rhythm is played throughout that whole 90 minutes, I think you see the best of all our players. You saw Guido Rodriguez and Edson Alvarez in very good positions, and you saw balls being played out to the wingers and in very favorable spots. And I think it all
Mhm.
comes from that midfield battle that we won. So, your take on it, Christian.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. You hit it right on the head. When Guido Rodriguez is playing like Guido Rodriguez, top notch form, you kind of do see the wingers in Ibarra, in this case Clemente, really get the ball, bring it down, and try to create something, especially Rente Ibarra. I think Rente Ibarra in the second half had a lot of possession on his side, and creating chances for America that ultimately led to a couple goals here and there. But like you said, though, once we have the midfield control, we just don't. We look like a whole different team, an unstoppable team, a very dangerous team going forward, and it's kind of hard to stop us when we're in that form.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so the first half ends 2-0, and then you go into the second half. America, I think, starts off just kind of the way they ended, starting to gain traction, starting to get more balls fed through the wingers, just trying to find and create more chances. Again, Cholo's trying to hold off, trying to make sure that there's not that much damage. And I think there was a bit of a stalemate at one point in the second half. I think the game just kind of looked like, okay, I think America was settling for the 2-0. Cholos was also settling for it. Did you think at one point that Cholos could maybe make the comeback, Francisco, in the second half?
No, not at all. I mean, once Kevin Balanta got that red card, for me that really was like game over because, in my opinion, just Xolos is not a team that can compete against the top level teams when something goes wrong like that, like getting a red card. They're not a team to me that can compete after something like that happens. So yeah, I mean, for me, after the card, game was pretty much over. And then in that second half, Cholo just did not look like they wanted to do anything going forward. They just wanted to maintain the lead. It became quite boring, like you said, in that second half.
Yeah, it kind of it really did become a bit of a dull match in regards to that sense. Funny, we didn't touch much about the red card, but it was a pretty nasty challenge, no, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I didn't see nothing.
Yeah, no,
uh,
for me, yeah, it was kind of a nasty, kind of strike on the ankle of Guido Rodriguez, and thankfully he's not injured or anything. But for me, it was a deserving red.
yeah, I don't think he had all the bad intentions to go and try to break Guido. I think it's just got there late, studs up, and he was right to get that red card, and I think that was it. I don't think anyone else made a big deal of it.
Yeah, no. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Just kind of wanted to touch upon that. Okay, so back to the second half. I really nothing really kind of stands out within the first couple of 60, not 60, excuse me, the first couple of maybe 15, 20 minutes of the second half. You don't really see things because I think Cholos makes the substitutions and America is more content with the 2-0. Then we start making substitutions, off goes Ibarra. And I think once Ibarra goes off, you see that America loses a little bit of creativity going forward. I think he was the man on fire against Cholos, really just down that wing, creating chances, almost got himself a goal, hit the post, had pretty good opportunities, had some decent crosses, and he exits the game. I think Piojo sits him out, rightfully so. I think he wants to save him for Saturday.
Mhm.
Does the same thing for uh, you know does the same thing for Nicolas Benedetti, and you see Ibargüen come on, you see Jeremy Menez come on, then you see Mateus Uribe come on, who kind of came on early in the first half because of the Manuel Aguilera injury that we kind of touched about in the Tigres game, but it looks like that was more of a precaution, if anything. So the game really changed in regards to America because of that, and I think for Cholos as well, kind of just trying to get damage control. But I think the one player that stood out to me throughout the whole 90 minutes that was doing things right from the get go, um, one obviously is Guido Rodriguez, but this is someone that I think went under the radar, and it was Henry Martin. Dylan, I don't know if you want to touch upon this, but I saw him and he was doing a lot of good things. The only thing I do question him is his touch and his reception sometimes is very poor, and I think that's what's let him down a couple of times. And he almost could have gotten himself a hat trick in this game if his touch was even better. But uh, what would you say about Henry, Dylan? Because I know this is your boy. You vouch for him, and say what you got to say, and I'll add on to it if anything.
Look, the only thing that I questioned kind of was that penalty. It looked like he was about to slip. I thought he was about to hit the post, and I was like, "What's going on?" But then I saw it hit the net, and I was like, "Okay, we're good." But um, I know, like I, I guess I to the extent too, I've kind of criticized him at times, even though I've defended him a lot, and I know y'all have always wanted more for him. But like, I mean, he hasn't necessarily really scored goals, but he's been a part in them. Like he's had his fair share of assists, and we've seen him score here and there, but and we've assist too if he hasn't scored. So I mean, he's out there. I think he's doing what Piojo wants him to do, and I think at the end of the day, that's all he can do, and he's doing that extra too sometimes, and I don't know. Like it was just great overall for him. It's just that's just I wish he'd get the start Saturday, but I don't feel like he's gonna get that start Saturday.
I think he is.
I mean, it all depends if Nico's ready to go.
I wouldn't risk Nico. I think Nico deserves the rest, or not the rest, but like the not to strain his injury or whatever he was going through.
Well, it depends. I mean, we'll get into that
Yeah,
discussion
we'll
when
get
we
into
get
that.
to
We'll get into that.
the Saturday's preview. But going back to Henry, I saw a lot of good things from him. I saw him make a lot of good runs. He pulled a lot of defenders off. Created a lot of spaces. Uh, did well to play as a post and did very well to try to play the 1-2 passing. Sometimes it worked out for him, sometimes it didn't. But I saw him hustle throughout the whole 90 minutes. And that's something that I really, really enjoyed seeing Henry do because he was very active even when he didn't have the ball. And I think that says a lot. I think that showcases how much he's grown. Francisco, this is a player that you saw very closely not too long ago. What's your take on Henry?
No, Tijuana, I think he was a very, very, very average player. Actually, I think he's grown a lot since his move to America. I was very surprised when America first picked him up because in Tijuana he basically wasn't doing much. He was just sitting on the bench, and then when he did play, he just did not do much at all. But yeah, now he's had a very nice run here with America, scoring goals for them, and yeah, he's a very, very good player. Like I said, in my opinion, I think he's grown quite a lot with America.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, who else isn't going to be motivated when you're talking contracts with your club at the moment, right? You want something to put on the table. So I think Henry, we could see maybe possibly maybe even getting better if he gets the time and if he keeps hustling the way he keeps hustling. But that's just someone I wanted to point out because I think he had two very late good goals, one of them being a penalty. Had a lot of authority to take it away from Jeremy Menez, who by the way is kind of maybe quote unquote the unofficial penalty taker. From what I've seen at practices, from what they've told me, he has a lot of authority when it comes to that. So for Henry to come up and take the ball from him and say no, this is mine, it shows a lot of character in regards to Henry. And then almost missing it, but finally finding the back of the net. And then his second goal in the 90th minute, almost channeling his inner Phil Jones to squeeze that ball in.
Yeah.
Really said a lot. So shout out to Henry who's continuing to do good jobs. Another jammy goal, right, Christian? Another jammy goal.
Another Jamie goal. There it is.
But 4-0, America walks into the final. We will know who we will be playing in just a couple of hours. I believe that Pumas game just started,
Yes,
and
sir.
we'll have to wait to see exactly who we get. But we'll let you guys know as soon as we hear anything. And then, of course, unfortunately, no matter what happens, we will not be at home.
Yes, that is correct. No matter if Juarez wins or Pumas win, we will be away. It will be next Wednesday. Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
All right, Francisco, any last words on this Copa MX match in regards to Cholos or anything that you maybe want to add on?
Yeah, the second goal by Henry Martin was absolutely ridiculous. Like it really showed Henry's hustle, to get to
Yeah,
that ball.
Hmm.
But then I just do not know how Cholos like let that happen. The back
I
line,
was
it
about to
was
say that.
I
absolutely ridiculous.
I think that goal sums up the whole game, and it also sums up all of Henry Martin. Because he gets a very well placed ball, and he's one on one kind of with the goalkeeper, and he somehow manages to slam it at Lahoud's body. Still finds a way to get the rebound, gets fouled, but still finds the ball in front of him, heads it. Like I said, challenges his inner Phil Jones and just kind of kicks it. I mean, I don't even know if that's even Sunday League. I don't think I've ever seen a Sunday League goal like that. So I don't even know what to call it. It's just it was jammy and that was it.
Hmm.
But that's Henry for you, and that was Cholos for you in that game. But we expect Saturday to be completely different. Who knows? We still might get a jammy goal, but it most definitely I don't think will be 4-0. And we'll get into that discussion right now. So nothing else to say,
Yes.
gentlemen. Anything else you want to say in regards to the Copa MX?
No.
Just we're just in the final again after how many years? After so long,
I
we're
think I saw
finally back.
somewhere like 20 something
Yeah,
years.
20 had to be more than that. Yeah, I mean, the last time we won it, I think was 73, 74. And
Oh, then yeah,
last time we were in one was 91, I think, and but we lost it though. So it's been a while, but we're back there.
we're back there, and fortunate enough for us to bring coverage to that via Twitter for you guys. So we're excited.
Yes.
Another final
Hmm.
to cover. This is gonna be good.
Yes. Yes. 100%.
Alrighty, gentlemen, if that is the case, then let's jump into the preview for Saturday's game, which is, I believe, Jornada 13, right?
Jornada
Yes.
13. Yes.
Perfect, perfect. Alrighty, well, Cholos will host America down in TJ for the Jornada 13. It's a weird time still because Mexico doesn't do their time change until Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because of that, America will be playing 8 p.m. Pacific time, 10 Central, and a late 11 o'clock Eastern time for all our folks down in the East Coast. Pretty
Yes.
late game, right?
I like league games. I don't know. That's just me.
I, I, I'm
When
a big
whenever
fan of like 3 o'clocks
oh
just because you
no.
still have the rest of the day.
No, yeah, but
But
I mean, when we used to play at 7 your time, 10 my time, oh those were the best. I just come
oh, I
home
hated those, dude.
from coming doing whatever I want. It's 10 o'clock. Oh, I know I still have America to come home to, so I don't
Well,
know. That's just me, I guess.
that is you.
Yeah,
The
that has to be
That's a
me.
whole East Coast kind of thing. But
I guess
all right,
so.
back to this whole preview. So it's a late game, but it paints to be a good game. So down at TJ, and Francisco, a place that you visited more than once. What can we expect from Cholos in regards to this game? Because your guys' form in league is completely different to your guys' form in the cup.
Yeah, I covered the Cholos for 5 seasons over there. And yeah, definitely, it's a tough place to visit for any team. Cholos should be better here at this game, especially with the home field advantage, with that turf. They do have a lot more experience playing on the turf. You'll see sometimes they do specific plays and stuff like that. You'll see a lot of jammy goals there at the Estadio Caliente due to the turf. And no, but it is a place where Cholos do tend to play a lot better than on the road. Um, and yeah, I mean, I do think Oscar Pareja will switch around his lineup. I mean, Gustavo Bo, Ariel Nahuelpan, Fabian Castillo, they're all going to start this game. And yeah, it could be a lot different than the Copa MX game.
So we can expect a lot more firepower from Cholos, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on your starting 11 in a little bit. I'm gonna jump to you guys. What can we expect from America in this game? Because not only do we come into this with good form, but we also come into this with a bit of injuries. It looks like Castillo's in doubt. Bruno's still in doubt. Aguilera, we've yet to hear anything. A lot of anything that's concrete.
Hmm.
Mateus Uribe, excuse me. Oribe Peralta might be back. So, I mean, we're not going to get anything confirmed probably until Friday.
Hmm.
That's when we'll exactly know whether or not Piojo has all players available or who's
Hmm.
actually going to be missing out. But I'm curious to hear what do you guys think, America, coming into this game? How do you guys see them?
Oof. Um, I kind of somewhat close to what we saw Tuesday. I
Um,
mean,
it's
kind of,
tricky. It's a
yeah,
tricky one,
yeah.
and I guess it all depends on the starting 11. And even when you ask us right now to name a starting 11, some people are going to want to play, close to 85% of a regular starting 11. I want to see a complete rotational squad for this match, even though it's probably not ideal, but I think
But
it's
why?
we kind of have to. Well, let's think about it. Uh, we have we have
This is what
Tijuana
America
Saturday.
wanted depth for, no?
We have Tijuana Saturday. That's not an easy team, especially when you just talk about their league form. Not an easy team. No matter, I don't care who it is. It's Juarez or Pumas. We have a final on Wednesday. We're gonna be away. It's gonna be a difficult match, no matter who we play. And then on Sunday we have Cruz Azul.
Damn, we have Cruz Azul Sunday.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that's in a
They
span, I
moved that
guess,
game to Sunday.
8 days or whatever, 8 days, whatever you want to say. We have three important games in 8 days. And
Yeah, but
you kind of already start to see the little nicks and the little fatigues here and there. And this is the time of the season where you don't want any little nicks here or there turn into month-long injuries, because then that's gonna really affect us.
I agree with what you guys are saying. It's just I can't agree to it all. Well, that made no sense, but you kind of know what I'm trying to say. Look, I get what you're saying. I don't want to accept it because one, this is what America was made for. It was made to compete in every single
Right.
game. So as a player, you should be understanding that you're gonna be playing 3 games in 8 days.
Hmm.
And that's just kind of what your goal is. And also,
Right.
this is why America paid so much money for all these players, so that we have a very very vast depth in in
Well,
our squad, and that's what we
well,
have right now.
that's where I'm getting at. That's why we rotate out key starting players and then put in the players that we have that don't really normally play. You have Jeremy Menez doesn't really play, Benedetti who comes off the bench and will most likely get a starting role. You have Henry Martin who doesn't play much because Nico Castillo has been getting the start and we most likely think he'll be in doubt. So you have a couple players here and there that you can probably slot in there, and I think this is the match to do it.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll jump back to all of this right now,
Oh, you're gonna
and
hate my starting 11.
I know I can already
You're
tell.
gonna hate it right now.
I can already tell. Well, before I jump into starting 11s, we have a little special announcement. It looks like the Eagle Eye podcast will, hopefully, fingers crossed, if everything goes well, we'll be down at the Estadio Caliente on Saturday to cover the game live for you guys on Twitter. And we'll have a whole bunch of cool little videos and interaction with all the fans down there. So if for any chance you're listening to this and you are going to be down there for the matchup, let us know via Twitter, via Instagram. Let us know if you're gonna be down there, because all signs point to us going down there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, things pan out for us. Francisco, before I ask you for your starting 11, let me ask you for taco recommendations after the game.
Tacos and Frank is pretty good down there. There's another place called Taco Naso. It's actually close to the stadium. Very good right there. So yeah, nice tacos de adobada, the adobada tacos. Very good.
Ooh, nice. Alrighty. Well, jumping from that, give me your predicted starting 11 for Xolos, because like you said, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be better. It's gonna be a better arsenal. Just I'm curious to hear what you have in mind.
Yeah, Pareja hasn't really switched his starting 11 too much. He's stuck with a 4-2-3-1 formation. So it seems that it will be Lahud in net, and then the defense, Omar Mendoza at right back. The center backs, Diego Bragueri, Julian Velasquez. At left back, Luis Fuentes. Then the defensive mids should be Ignacio Rivero and Diego Rodriguez. And then up front, it should be Miller Bolaños, Fabian Castillo, Gustavo Bo, and then Ariel Nahuelpan.
Now that sounds like the Cholos we were expecting. Um, I mean, gentlemen, Dylan, you hear this starting 11, and what's your take on it?
Um, I'm kind of keep an eye out for Fabian Castillo. Really. I mean, I think he's really matured and grown since his time with FC Dallas. Since I've seen him whenever he played there. Um, really, especially his maturity because he was kind of immature with FC Dallas. But that's a different talk and that's a different story. But he's back with Pareja, which kind of surprised me a little bit. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he plays down the wings.
Interesting. I'm curious to see what Nahuel Pan does. I think he's had a good season with you guys, right? And I think he could be a real leader in the attacking. I think he can make things difficult for whoever plays in the center back spot. Is someone I think we need to keep an eye on. And of course, I mean, yeah, you can't really forget about Bo, can you? I mean,
Mhm.
the guy, smells goal and he's on it, ready to pounce on it. So a very good, interesting lineup, Francisco. Thank you for sharing that. I think we have a better idea of what we can expect. We were definitely thinking that this was going to be a stronger lineup, and I think you might as well just confirmed it that this is probably going to be the best starting 11 Cholos is going to put out. Gentlemen, now it's our turn. What are we going to put out for Saturday's game? Christian, you
Think we're
already
gonna.
mentioned that I'm not going to like it, so might as well just go ahead and get it over with.
All
What's your
right.
predicted starting 11?
Just before I say this lineup, guys, this is my dream lineup. This is what I hope happens. Is it gonna happen? 99.9%. It is not gonna happen. But if it does, Ivan, you are buying me something because I deserve this. But here I
Okay,
go. Um,
I eat some tacos.
we'll have Navarrete. No, I'm joking. I have Navarrete in it. We'll have we'll have
Aquivaldo.
Akiva. Yeah, you know. We'll have Marchesín in net. Paulo Aguilar, Edson Alvarez, Carlos Vargas, Luis Reyes.
What?
We'll have Mateo Uribe and Sebastián Córdoba. Then we'll have Antonio Lopez, Nicolas Benedetti, Andres Ibargüen, and then Henry Martinez, your lone striker.
Dude, this is not career mode.
This just went way out in left field.
Dude, I don't know where you got this from. This is like when you're playing career mode and you got like a game back to back and your players are on red, so you're just anything that's on the bench is good.
This has to be the lineup, in my opinion.
Man, I thought you were gonna be conservative. I was wrong.
No.
You might as well just locked everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Dylan. I mean, what do you got for Saturday?
I don't even know how to put a lineup after hearing that one. I think Aguilera starts over Vargas, and I think I'd keep Guido in the midfield. I think everything else is okay.
We're burning him out.
So you're seeing Tony Lopez start?
Screw it, why not? I think we've called for it plenty of times, and
I mean, don't get me wrong. The kid can play, and I would love to see him. But look, I think this if
I'm
if
not
we're
saying in
taking
the
into
whole 90
consideration,
though.
okay, no, I know he's not playing the whole 90, but look, I'm taking into consideration that Nico might be out, Bruno might be out, and
Yes.
and
Aguilera.
Aguilera. Yeah, I think he's good. I think Aguilera is good.
Okay.
So
I
I'm
don't think
going
we should risk
Marche,
it.
Paul, Aguilera, Edson, George, Ibarra, Uribe, Guido, Ibargüen. How many foreigners is that already? Jesus.
Oh crap! I forgot about that. Shoot, I always forget that.
Benedetti and Henry.
I think you're missing a player.
No, that's 11.
All right.
I have my two wingers. It's a 4-2-3-1, which is funny enough that we're gonna see that this kind of formation as well with Cholos.
I just think
translate
that's
to the-
Herrera's staple formation for this season. I think
It has been.
he found that with the players that he has, this is going to be his formation going forward.
So how many foreigners is that? So we have Marche, we have Emma, we have Guido, Uribe, Benedetti, Renato, Ibargüen. That's 7 foreigners.
Right.
So that means there's only space for 2 on the bench.
Right.
And we're saying Nico's out. We're saying Bruno's out. So then Jeremy Menez and who?
That's
Uribe?
it.
I mean, Roger is
No,
Roger
Roger's
good?
not ready. Roger will be ready when Uribe is ready.
But Uribe should be ready by Saturday.
He is not going to be ready by Saturday.
We have confirmed. God damn it, Piojo
Okay,
keeps
listen,
saying one thing and another.
you did this last week, and I'm telling you right now, he will not be there Saturday.
Okay, so then just Jeremy Menez, I guess.
Jerry Menez, yes.
Okay. Still, I think maybe mine's a little bit more credible than maybe your
No,
guys'
you
is.
most likely yes, but in my opinion, I don't know. I just think we need to rotate the squad. I don't want to see these guys burned out by week 15, 16, and then we have injuries here and there, and then we enter the Liga with the rotational lineup, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh man, we should have rested them in that Cholos game," and then I will look like hero, and then you guys will be looking like the villain. So I'm sticking to my word.
All right. Well, let's just go with my lineup for all sakes. Francisco, tactically speaking, what does Cholos need to do to kind of erase Tuesday's game and actually play to what they need to play in order to get a result against America?
Well, at home, Cholos does tend to really go for it, I would say. It doesn't matter who the rival is, they just tend to really go for it. We saw that against Monterrey. Um, they beat Monterrey there at the Estadio Caliente, which is arguably, one of the best teams in the league, title contender for sure. They do tend to play a lot more aggressively at home as opposed to away. And Pareja has really shown that. Even Diego Coca, before the manager that was before Pareja, he did show that a lot. But Pareja has kept on showing that. So I do think Cholos will play. I wouldn't say necessarily toe to toe, but they're not going to be as conservative as other teams who do play America.
Okay. Which, hearing that, gentlemen, does that maybe give you guys an idea of how Piojo might come into this game? Because for me, the one thing that stands out is if Cholos is going to come after us and if Cholos is going to go, I feel like Piojo is going to do Piojo and he's going to say, okay, we're going to absorb the pressure, we're going to soak it in, and then we're going to try to break them on the counter.
It's pretty much the game plan we've been playing all season long.
For real.
Is it the right plan though? Is it what we need to do against Cholos, or do you think that maybe we should be the aggressive ones? We should look and try to take the game to them, and I think it goes down again to who can control the midfield really.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If we go out there and be the aggressor, it's only gonna take about like 20 minutes before we let Cholos back into the game.
Okay, yeah, that's understandable because that's usually what America does. But I mean, I'm not gonna say that we need to go and try to find an early goal like always because that's usually not always the case, like you said, Christian.
Right.
But I do want to see America come out and try to balance the game out. Don't
Yeah.
give too much to Cholos, and don't be exposing yourself too much either because this is a fast Cholos team. Let's face it.
Yeah.
This is a fast team that could get you on the break. We have speed as well, which why I think we're gonna use and abuse our wingers because we did that against Tuesday. But I think both teams can catch each other on the counter, and really, I'm looking at it, from both perspectives. I could see this game ending in a draw.
So you're
Now you sound like me.
No, I'm just saying that because I feel like a lot of especially if Cholos comes out with their most aggressive starting 11, I think you're gonna see I think you're gonna see two very similar teams.
But I don't think. I mean, I kind of see what you mean, Ivan. But it could be a draw. But I don't think at the end of the day, Pareja and Cholos don't want to draw. I think they're trying to go out and get a win.
Especially
You
right
think
now
they?
being out of Zona de Liga right now.
Yeah,
Hmm,
and it's. I know we've talked about it, but it's literally that point in the season where you cannot drop points.
that's true. Not just for us, but every other team out there.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially when that part of the table is very very tight.
yeah. Because
Okay.
Cholos is like right there for Liga
They're
spot.
3 points
They're
away.
ninth. They're
Yeah,
they're ninth. The only thing separating them is goal differential.
Alrighty. Well, then the case is simple for America. Then go
we
out
have to.
there, play your game. Not just because you have to win, but I think the simplest way to try to walk away with the result. And I think when I say result, I think it's fair to say that we'd accept nothing but a victory, right?
100%.
I think you just have to go out and play kind of similar to what you were playing on Tuesday. Get the ball rolling, try to get hold of that midfield battle, and just play simple. I saw a lot of good 1-2 passes from America, and I think they need to continue to do that. Let's remember the pitch is going to be a lot faster. It's going to be a lot tougher. The ground's going to be a lot harder. The ball rolls completely faster. So hopefully the team can take this into consideration. I'm pretty sure they're going to wet the pitch beforehand, right, Francisco?
Yeah, they usually do.
So I mean, you can only imagine the ball's going to, for those of you who played on turf, know exactly what that means. Um, I just want to see America go out there and try to get control of the midfield and try to get control of the game. I don't necessarily need them to be so aggressive. I just want them to play smart. And I think that's especially when you come into a turf field, you need to play smart because you're obviously right off the bat at a disadvantage because you don't play there week in and week out. The home team does. So if America wants to get out here and get a result, which they have before, it's just control the tempo of the game, get a feel of it, and understand what Xolos is trying to do, and hopefully Piojo can find a way to counteract that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys want to add anything into
Also,
that.
if we do get that early goal like we have in the past two games, it's important to keep the pressure up and not let Cholos back into this game. Like we have all mentioned, this is a much better Tijuana squad going into Saturday. And let's just say they have kind of the same chances, same similar moments that they had in Tuesday. This is a team that can potentially capitalize on those mistakes if we make them.
No, yeah, definitely, definitely. Francisco, anything else you want to add on in regards to Cholos and maybe what they need to do?
No, like you said, I think Cholos do view this as a must-win game. The fans certainly view it that way. I mean, everybody's saying it's either you win this or you're out of Liguilla, which I don't agree with, but that's what a lot of people's mindsets are going into this game, especially, since it is at home. People want to beat America. I mean, it is a game there where the team is going to feel pressured to get those 3 points.
Yeah, okay, understandably. All right, everyone's favorite part of the show now comes, and it is prediction time. So, being as how we are, Francisco, I'm gonna throw it to you since you guys are the home team. Give me your prediction for Saturday's game.
I think there's going to be a lot of goals. I think it's going to be an exciting game. Prediction is 2-2. I just think there's going to be a lot of goals in this game. Hopefully, it is a good game like that, but we'll see. I could also see it ending like 0-0 or something. But yeah, I will say 2-2.
2-2 draw. All right, Christian, your prediction?
3-1 America.
Oh, three with your lineup. With
With
your
my
lineup.
lineup, yes, with my
3-1?
lineup. You're saying it like you don't have faith in our players, in our.
No, I have faith. I don't have 3-1 faith.
Oh, okay, well, we'll see what
I was
happens then.
thinking, I was
Listen,
thinking
listen,
one goal
listen.
jammy wise, but okay.
Listen. First of all, if this lineup that I have right here, all right, if this lineup is the lineup for Saturday, you're buying me dinner whenever we meet up. Secondly,
All right,
if I get the
fair.
score prediction right, you can buy me a new house, honestly, because you're having like you're very against me right now. So
Look, if you get all of that, you've earned yourself a nice promotion, my friend.
thank
A
you.
nice promotion. Okay, so 3-1. Dylan, I mean, what's your take on this?
I'll go 3-2.
3-2. Yeah, so you see a lot of goals in this game as well.
Yes.
3-2 to who though? You always say that. You never say for who.
Yes.
I'm just leaving it there. I said 3-2.
Oh my god. Do with what you want, guys. With Dylan, you guys know his Twitter handle. I'm going 2-1 America. I'm going 2-1 America. Like I said, I could see it being a draw, but I'm being hopeful that America can walk away with all 3 points. And hopefully Paul Aguilar scores, so we can use that video of Dylan, dancing like Paul Aguilar. Right, Dylan?
I didn't know I gave him consent to use that video, but that's fine, I guess.
That's such a lie. I have a text message where you say we're gonna tweet that out when Paul Aguilar scores. So I will expose you.
Show the receipts.
All right, let us know what you guys think on the comment section down below. Again, a huge shout out to Francisco for coming on. Francisco, thank you so much for being on here and really making this show even better.
No, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it, guys, and keep up the great work. And good luck on Saturday as well.
Thank you. Good luck to you guys as well. Well, where can they find you on Twitter?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at FranciscoEFV. Still do all Xolos coverage there. Still do the Xolos podcast. We'll have a new episode tomorrow. And yeah, I also have a Puebla coverage as well. Everything I'm doing here in the city.
So make sure you guys follow him. He is very active on Liga MX, not just Cholos and Puebla. I see you always, have something to say in regards to every match that you watch. You try to watch as much as you can. I know you're a very busy guy that keeps an eye on all things Liga MX. I know you've written a couple stuff about America, and just keep up the great work, man. You've really set the pace for some of us right here, who are trying to get into the community and really make a difference. So thank you so much for the great work that you've been doing, and hopefully we see you soon. You're out in Puebla, so keep doing what you're doing out there and keep working hard, man.
No, thank you. Appreciate it, guys, and as well, keep up the great work.
Thank you, thank you. So again, if you guys are gonna be down in TJ, let us know. Hopefully, we can confirm with you guys in the upcoming days whether or not we'll be there. But all signs point to us being there. So we're hopeful. If that's the case, and Trump does decide to close the border, I have no idea whether or not I'll be back for work. So if my boss is listening to this, please note that I might need to use a vacation day for Monday. But no, just any tips in general for if we're down there in TJ at the Estado Caliente, Francisco.
Uber's great. Yeah, Uber is really helpful. It's everywhere down there. It's pretty cheap to get to the stadium. Should be like $4, I believe, from the border.
Wow,
Around there.
Wow.
that
And
is
then,
wow.
food's really good. Like I said, tacos El Frank, and the other one is Taconazo. Either one of those places, you'll be good. Very good tacos at both of those places. Yeah, and overall, TJ, I mean, it has its things in terms of security, but there doesn't tend to be a lot of robberies. And the place where the stadium is, it's a really nice area. It's like the nicest area of the city.
It is. It is. I've heard good places, good things about that stadium and the location. So I'm excited to go and see it and experience it. So shout out to everyone down there in Cholos and to everyone in TJ. Shout out to you guys at the Cholo podcast. To our good friend Mr. Cesar Hernandez as well. Who I hope to see that day also, who's helped us out so much as well. To everyone, really. To everyone, thank you so much. Everyone who came out, Chicken Little, Oscar Torres, Carlos Serna, Chicken Nugget. Looks like we're missing again Chicken Biscuit, if not it'd be the Holy Chicken Trinity. Carlos Diaz, Kevin Perez, everyone. If I've missed you, I'm so sorry. Louis, happy birthday again, my friend. And to everyone listening on SoundCloud and iTunes, thank you so much. You guys can find us on Twitter at Eagle Eye Podcast and on Instagram at Eagle Eye Podcast. Follow us on SoundCloud and iTunes and Spotify. So if you ever miss a live show, you can always get us on the go. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, it's been your host, Ivan, Christian, Dylan. Thank you so much for being, again, amazing co-host.
Yeehaw.
No
There you
problem.
go. Yeehaw. Favorite time of the day, right, Christian?
Favorite time of the week.
Favorite time of the week. Favorite time of the week. Alrighty, gentlemen. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys until next time. We will let you guys know who will be playing on Twitter and all that live coverage that hopefully will be happening on Saturday. Also, huge shout out to the ladies who continue to keep doing the good job. We didn't get to you guys, but we will next episode. And as always, we'll see you guys next time. Damn, I don't even know how to sign off, but okay. See you guys. Bye.
You're so nervous right now.
Arriba la América.